Right. Oh, good afternoon, all. We're not quite live yet. Well, we are live, but we're not quite going until past. Can you all hear me? You'll see there's a chat box on the right that you can write something in. It says slow mode is on mine because you can only type something every 60 seconds. So, thank you, Clive. Thank you very much for letting me know. Cheers, mate. Lovely. So, we've got about 8 minutes before we start. Can you also see? Good, thank you, Hernando. Can you also see the scanner on the video as well, please, people? You should be able to see it, and you should be able to see my mouse moving across the screen. Yeah, lovely, thank you, Richard. Okay. You might find that the sound has got a slight tinniness to it. I've got some interference, which I can't locate what it is, but I'm going to just go with it anyway. I've got about 100 tabs open on the screen here, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, so bear with me. Great, that's good. Right, as long as you can see that. We'll be around from the scanner. If we find any bets that we're going to put on, I'll be flicking to Bet Angel, because I use Bet Angel to bet with mainly, although I will try and do some on straight off Betfair to show. I'm not looking to do anything too complicated today. It's really just an overview of the scanner. You can ask questions if you want to, and I'll try and answer them. Ads will be in, I think, at some stage, and probably Chris as well, and they may be able to answer your questions as well if I don't notice. So have fun, entertainment for an hour or so, however long we stay on there. There is, if you look underneath the video in the comments section, I have put a little link that you can click on, which will bring up a trade that we're actually going to try and do at the same time at Club Bruges, which is one of our trades of the day. Our first trade of the day was at Frosinone, if that's how you pronounce it. And we didn't get the Dutch in, but we got the over 3.5 in. At Atalanta went absolutely bananas and tanked them. So we got a half-point win on that one, which is that's okay. We've already had a few wins this morning from off the scanner as well. I think we've had 3 other winners, which have all produced about a point. So it's a great tool. It's a great tool. And if you haven't got it, hopefully after this, you'll take out hi newbie. Hopefully when you've seen this and I've given you some tips, you'll take out the little 10 pence offer, which there's also a link to down the bottom, and have 3 days for 10 pence. Let's face it, 10 pence. And pop in this evening, sign up for 10 pence straight after this, pop in this evening. We've got 2 more trades of the day running tonight. I'll be in tomorrow and Tuesday. In fact, I'm in every day. And as Darren said from Green TV, I live here, and it feels like that from time to time. Right, so we've got about 3 minutes to go. If you hear a strange gurgling sound every now and then, that's me having a suck on the electronic cigarette. If you're looking at the scanner now, I know we haven't started, but if you're looking at the scanner now, you can see here, hopefully you can see that, Liverpool under 23s versus West Brom. Liverpool have just gone one down. They were odds on to start with. That'd be one worth keeping an eye on, that they will come back, or at least we'll get another couple of goals. But definitely worth doing that. Put that in your pipe and vape it, definitely. Clive, yes, I've been trading a long time, and I tend to I've cut back a little bit on horses now. I used to trade them, but I tend to just do a little bit of scalping now when I want to. I've reached that stage in life where I don't want to do too much, and I find that football is slow. I mean, it's a slow sport to trade, and I just prefer doing that. I do trade horses, tennis. I don't particularly like the Australian Open, purely because of the time it goes off at. It's a bad time for me, middle of the night, and my brain won't work. Cricket, I like a little cricket trading as well. But I'll trade anything really if I feel that there's money to be made on it. Okay, we're coming up to past, so we'll make a start in a second. There's a few people in, I can see. Okay, past. Good afternoon, and thanks for coming to our first, well, my first webinar. You're very welcome, and I do appreciate you turning up on a Sunday afternoon when you could be down the pub. Just a couple of little intro bits for you. First off, this is, as I say, my first webinar, so please bear with me if it doesn't go all slick and smooth. I'm not really a slick and smooth person, but I'll try and give you an overview of the scanner, and then we'll see if we can find a trade or two, and see if we can make, well, at least 10 pence, so that you're not going to be money down taking out the 10 pence trial. The link to that trial is in the comments section under the video if you wanted to give us a blast. The chat room's great on its own. The chat room's worth it on its own. I'm in there constantly. There's lots of other people. There's Chris and Bilko and Taffy and loads of people, and they all know what they're doing, and they'll help you out as much as possible. And so it's a really good place, and it's a nice place to hang out. This is mainly for, no, I can't translate it, sorry, you're going to have to just, I'll try and do it slowly, and you will have to sort of run it through a translator either, because I can't translate. This is mainly geared at new people or beginners to the scanner, just to give you an overview of the whole thing. But hopefully some of you that have been around for some time will get something out of it as well. Hopefully, anyway. Will there be more? Will I do more webinars? I don't know, maybe. Depends how well I enjoy this one and what the feedback is. If I get negative feedback, I won't. If I get positive feedback, I might. If you've got something you'd like me to do a webinar on, then catch me in chat, send me a message and say, could you do this? And I'll see if I can do it. I do know that a lot of videos on YouTube about trading and things come from the what I call the my willy is bigger than yours. All they want to do is just tell you, oh yeah, it's easy, you do this, you do that, and they won't show you how to do it. Hopefully from I mean, in chat I do put my trades of the day out first and you can follow them, and that's it. I don't put up screenshots after an event saying, oh look what I did, or I try not to do videos where I've had a dump 10 because it all went wrong beforehand. Anyway, let's get on. That's enough waffle. I've had enough. So the chat box is over on the right. If you want to ask a question, do that. Don't ask questions like, how's your granny? Oh, she's very well, thank you, but the dog's got the runs. If you can keep that to the ordinary chat room and just sort of ask me questions here. Hopefully Ads and Chris will be in here as well, and they may be able to answer them if I miss out. So the scanner, what is it about? The in-play trading scanner. Great piece of kit. If you're not using it and you trade football, I think it's costing you money. Because it really will make you money. And without that edge, that's what it does. It gives you an edge. You're going to get killed by the layers, and you want this edge. So what will it actually do? Hello, whoever that is. Chris. Oh, hello, Chris. Right, you're on question answering if I miss them, mate. Right, so what we've got with the scanner, what does it do? Well, it scans exactly what it says it does. You can get some of this information from Betfair. If you go on Betfair and open up the game for Huddersfield versus Man City, you'll get an edited highlights of the stats for the game so far. It won't give you as many details as this, and if you want to cover 2 or 3 games, then you've got to put in, you've got tons of little boxes all over the place. This is the same with 365. Hi, whoever's saying hi to me there. Jamie. Hey, Jamie, sorry. Hi, Jamie. It gets everything in there together. It's a fantastic tool, and I'm just going to go down the top, along the bottom, in and out, and show you what everything does. So up the top, I'm going to ignore these boxes up the top at the moment, the filters. I will come to them in a minute, but I'm going to ignore them at the moment. Okay, so what we've actually got, if we look at the heads, whoops, heads up, we've got date, obviously the date and the time, the score, the time is the time of the match. The score, can I take those questions at the end, Melissa? Can I just do the basics first? The score of the games, what the event is. If you hover over the thing, it'll tell you for which league it's from, etc., etc. Then you've got the match odds. Those are the current match odds in the box. Underneath, you have the starting matches odds. Now, be a little bit careful with these, because when the liquidity is poor in a game before the start, they can be off because it grabs the starting price as soon as the game goes in play. I'm trying to see if I can see one. There's one there. If we look at Cups, I have no idea how you pronounce that. But you see, the home team has got a starting price, as you can see here, of 1.14. The away team has 1.1, and the draw was 1.3. Well, we know that can't possibly be right. Let me just hold that for a second. So if we then hover over the Betfair graphs, it keeps moving, we can see that they started at quite a big price. So just have a little hover over with over the Betfair graph to make sure that starting price is the correct starting price. You then got the over and under 25. Sorry, 25, 2.5. Oh, I've cracked already. This is obviously, again, giving you the price pre-kickoff of the unders and overs and what it is now. I did miss out matched bets, matched amounts. That's the amount matched on the match odds. The same here you've got on the over 2.5s. Am I going too fast? Everybody keeping up. Say speed up, slow down. Under this one, we've got other over and unders. So if we just look at get rid of that for a start. If we look at that, we've then got the under and over 1.5, 3.5 and 4.5. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'm going at the right speed. Under the correct, thank you. Thank you. Yep. Okay, great. Okay, not going too fast. Correct score, under the correct score, we've got show, it gives the prices there of the scores at the moment. Then we come down to the more interesting bits, and this is the shots on target. So the number of shots on target and who's had them. Then we come to the shots off target. Number of shots off target and who's had them. The corners. Again, how many and who's had them. Penalties. It doesn't tell you how many they've missed. Usually the games I'd do, they'd have about 10 missed in them. It just says penalties awarded. Then we've got free kicks. So we can tell whether it's a dirty game, clean game, or whatever else. Red cards. Number of red cards in the game. Once you get a red card, some people like to trade out, some people like to stay in. Yellow cards the same. Then we come to dangerous attacks. This is the number of times that somebody has got close to the area at least. And you can see there that, well, Monopoly has had 10 dangerous attacks, 1 corner, while Potenza, if I'm pronouncing these wrong, I don't care. Tough, really. You know, they're not doing anything, Potenza. But it's an early days. It's only 9 minutes gone. Possession. Again, you can see who's got the most possession. So MN against PSV. Oops, sorry, hang on a minute. MN against PSV. They've had quite a bit of possession, but PSV have had the shots. Then we come down to the PIs. I'm going to start with the PI1, which is this one first, and then I'll move on to PI2. This is, as you can see, if you hover over the blue, it tells you exactly what it is. Each shot on target, we get 10 points. Each shot off target, we get 10 points. And each 5% possession, we get 1 point. We calculate that in the last 10 minutes of the game. When the combined PI, if we look here, goes over 70, so that's 100 there, so that's quite a lot. In fact, that's a heck of a lot. Once you get over 70, it'll go pink to tell you that it's got a high PI and goals could be on the horizon in that game. PI2 is pretty similar, but how it calculates it is on the dangerous attacks, of which it gives 1 point. And no corners, it gives 2 points. Now, the reason it gives no corners is you don't want them just kicking the ball out, really. You know, coming off the defender for a corner. So it's really just a sign of the dangerous attacks. So if you get blue and pink together, you know something is going to happen. Something is about to happen in that game. And you want to be very interested about getting your money in on something. You can always take it out if it suddenly dies a death. You don't have to leave it in there forever. That's trading out, that is. Here, you've got a little speaker. Now, if you don't want to hear the thunder sound, when that goes pink, you will hear this thunder sound, thunderclaps everywhere. And you think, what the hell is that? And if you just click that, it will mute it and you won't hear it. The light bulb moment at the end, you can just click this and it'll be green. When it's green, if you've got a game that you're particularly interested in, say this one here that's got a high PI, if we click that one there, it'll shoot to the top and it will stay at the top. We can put another game in there as well if we want to. And let's put that Liverpool game in as well. So you can see we've now got them and they're all sorted on the time order. So that is basically the top of it. Everyone all got that? Yeah, it's a total of 70, Richard. So there we've got 53 and 47 is 100. So that's more than 70. It's not 70 for one team. It's 70 in total, and the team that has the highest will go pink, if you see what I mean. So that one there is 53 and they're pink. But in total, it's in total 70. Are you with me there, Richard? You can't say anything for 60 seconds because I've got it on slow mode. Let me know in a minute. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to just show you some of the sorting here of how we can sort as well. The date I'll show you in a second, because this brings everything back. But let's just say we wanted to sort on the score. So if I click this button here now, and if we look from here, because these are my save games, in fact, I'll take them out so it doesn't look so confusing. You'll see now that the score, even though this is full time, what it's doing is it's sorting the games by the game with the most numbers of goals. So that one's obviously got 6, that's got 5, that's got 4, that's got 4, that's got 4, 2, 2, 2. You can also click it again and it will go back and we've got all the nil-nils at the top. Now that might be quite useful if you're looking for something that a late goal in a 0-0 or a half-time game that's 0-0 that you were expecting goals. So you can have the score like that as well. You might decide that you don't want the 0-0s, you want to wind down to the ones that have just got one goal in. And so we can look here and we've got all the ones all there. So we might say this game here, which I'm not even going to attempt to try and pronounce that, but they were odds-on favourite beforehand. They're losing 0-1. Is it 87 minutes gone? 3 minutes. Will they get the equaliser? Maybe. There's a chance. Keep your eye on it. Let me know if it happens. So once we've done that, if we don't like it as it is, and we don't want to be sorted any longer, if we just click the date button again, it'll bring everything back to as it was. So that's the sort of like the reset button. If it really won't reset, then just click your refresh button on your browser. But usually the date button will bring everything back. Match odds, okay, you can't sort on that. Matched, you can sort on that. So you may decide, I only want to play games with big amount of money in there. And there's nearly 4 million in the Huddersfield Man City game. Right the way down to 1,000 in the Juventus game. But that might also be something you want to look at. Click the date again, and it's all gone back. Over and unders, you can sort again on the match there. I won't show you that. Oh, excuse me. Let me just have a drink. It's water, honest. We can also sort on the shots on target. So this game now has the most. Obviously, you're going to tend to get games with the most shots on target, being the furthest, well, the closest to the finish, really. But if you saw something like this game keeps popping up, doesn't it? Syracuse. That's had 6 shots on target already. All right, we've got 1 goal, but there's still 6 shots on target, high PI. That would tend to suggest Italian Serie C. Oh my God, well, everyone loves that one, doesn't they? But that would tend to suggest that there's going to be another couple of goals on there as well. So again, I'll return it to normal by clicking on the date. We can sort on shots off target as well if we want to. City have just taken the lead. Sort by corners. Penalties you don't want to sort by. Free kicks you don't want to sort by. Red cards you don't want to there. You can sort by dangerous attacks. So you can see who's giving it to them. Again, you are going to tend to find that it's going to be late in the game that have got the most. You can sort on possession. Not sure you'd really want to do that unless someone was really, really dominating, but you could probably see that. So let's just go to the PI again, and we can sort on high PI. And if we just click this now, you can see we've got 60 there, 60 there, 60 there, and then it comes down. So we're going down. So this is the games now. If we just kept our scanner like this all afternoon, as games became high in PI, they would creep up to the top here, and it's easier for us to see. There isn't anything happening at the moment, but you know, I quite often keep my scanner clicked with the PI there, so it's right up the top, so I know which games have got high PI, and you tend to see a game that, even if there aren't any goals in it, you'll tend to see them floating to the top, go back down, float back up, go back down, float back up, and at that stage you know that something's happening there. Nothing is guaranteed in life, apart from death and taxes or something, whoever said that. But all it can do is give you an edge. And if you can see that PI building, and keep coming back, you can have a damn good guess that something is happening there. Charlie Roy have just scored. That's good for our trade of the day, lads. So let's just put that one back, but you can also sort on PI2 as well if you want to. I tend to use PI1 more than I use PI2. I have to be honest, I don't follow PI2 too much. I look for the pink. Because as Aerosmith said, pink is my favourite colour. Chris will hate me for that. So I think that's about it on there, really. Let me just see, let me have a look at my crib sheet and see if I've missed anything. Sorting a game. Let's say you've got a full day's play like this, or Saturday afternoon, and there's hundreds of games on. And somebody, shouldn't have done that. Some idiot has shouted, Burnley. And you can't find Burnley. Well, they shout, I'll tell you what, they shouted Sparty, and you can't find the game Sparty on your scanner. All you need to do is hold the control key down on your keyboard, press the F for find, and as you can see, the little box pops up at the top, and you just type in Sparty, and as you can see over here, Sparty went brown. Did you see that? I'll do it again. Okay, went brown. All you've then got to do is click the little green box over there and close that now. And Sparty are now up the top, and you can put your bet on. And the way you can put your bet on is we're linked to Betfair, and so if you just click the overs box or any other box, you'll go straight to the game. And I liked overs there, so bang, I'm in, go. So that's how to get to Betfair. That's the scanner as such, and what we're doing. I think I've covered virtually everything I wanted to on there. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Here, if we look at this game here, I'll just bring it to the top. You'll see this blue box here under the overs for OFI, which is Greece somewhere, is blue, where everything else isn't. What that means is the fact that one or both of those teams score more goals in the second half than they do in the first half. And we can find out which it is by hovering our little mouse over it. And you'll see a little pop-up appears, and it's OFI. And they score 62.7% of their goals in the second half. So that might suggest on some games that OFI might get another one. Something to look at and bear in mind. The other thing is the green. When it goes green in the scores, what it means is the favourite is losing at home. Clicking the light bulb. Yep, okay. I'll go back to that in a second, Jay. So when it's green like that, you can see Club Brugge. They were the favourites. They were the odds-on favourites beforehand, and Charleroi, I think it's pronounced, not Charlie Roy. I've taken the lead, and so it will go green. Now, again, you might have a strat that says that 23 minutes gone, odds-on favourite. They are now 2.6. Club Brugge might be worth a little bet. That might be up to you. Okay, somebody's just asked me over here, what does the light bulb do? So I'll just take all these out for a second, Jay. And if you watch, if you highlight a game, let's say we wanted to highlight the Liverpool under 23 game. I'll take these out here and that one. So we're interested in the Liverpool game. We think goals will be scored there. So we're going to click the light bulb. And you can see now it's highlighted that game. And if we click this light bulb right at the very, very top, there, that will go green. And the Liverpool game will be brought right to the top. So any other games that we were interested in, say we wanted to be, we were interested in Call Me. I have no idea who they are either. And we click them and they go green and their game's up there. So you can have as many as you want up there. Obviously you don't want too many because it's probably be a bit confusing. But that's all the light bulb does. It just highlights the game and then you can bring it to the top to do. Okay, Jay, hope that answers your question. Yep, lovely. Thanks, mate. Thank you, Barry. Okay, so I think I'm just about covered here. If anybody got any questions, they can ask them. If not, I'm just going to move up to here, to the filters at the top. Now, this is for adding strategies. I'm not going to do strategies today because I'm a mean man, and but at the same stage, these can actually be used just on your ordinary strategy, on your ordinary afternoon, without writing a strategy at all. I've got, as you see, £1,000 on the match odds. That's anything below that I don't bother with. Some people set it higher. On a Saturday afternoon when you've got 140 games going, you might decide you want to set it at £10,000 or whatever else. Don't set it too high because you won't get the Leyton Orient game in there. And obviously you want the Leyton Orient game on the scanner, usually because we lose. But you can also, let's say for example, I'll just have a quick crib here so make sure something's happened. Let's say we wanted to put in I actually only want games where I've got no goals or one goal. And I'm going to click on that, and you'll find now, miraculously, that there are no games that have got more than one goal on. You can do anything you like with this. Well, nearly anything you like. It won't make you breakfast. And it won't make you more attractive to women, trust me. If you click the date, it'll now bring everything back again. So let's say I wanted to look at all games that were 1-1. Probably find there isn't any games here now. Yeah, there we are, see? Told you there isn't one single 1-1. So let's try 1-0. Right, so we've got all those games at 1-0. So depending on what your strat is, what you're looking for, you can actually use this as your filter as well. Somebody asked me earlier, I think it was it Melissa, how we use the kickoff filter. I think it was. I can't wind back. Well, I could have though. How are you using the new kickoff filter? Right, so let's say you wanted to put in maximum price of 2 for the home side, right? So they're going to be, thank you, Melissa. So that's all games where the favourite was odds on to start with, and that's brought all these games up, and you can see only 3 or 4 are winning out of that lot. So it's not a great thing to bet on, is it? Can you filter if a favourite goes behind? Yeah, well, if it's an odds-on favourite, yes, you're getting this come up there. If it's if they were a favourite of, let's say, at 2.4, 2.3, 2.2, no, it wouldn't come up green. Then it has to be odds-on for that, Andy. So you can use this filter. You don't have to set a strat. Do you want to see me set a strat? You all know how to set a strat, or do you want me to set one up quickly? I don't actually have any strats because I only trade when I'm actually in front of the PC. I don't want emails telling me I've got, you should have done this, you should have done that. So I only actually trade when I'm actually there, and when I'm not here, I don't want to know about it particularly. But a lot of people, whether you're at work or you've got family commitments or whatever else, you may want to strat. No one wants to see it? No, that looks good to me. Right, so I've sort of come to the end there. It's 2 o'clock. I've done half an hour on the scanner, which I thought was what it would take. Have you got any questions at this stage? And then we'll see if we can get a couple of trades through. Right. Okay. Well, if you have, just ask away. I'm going to have a little look. So let's have a look. When and why do you get goals? Well, obviously, the first thing you really want to be looking at is the kickoff price for the over 2.5. If it's up around the 3 mark, then I'd be very wary about looking for a lot of goals. In fact, I'll probably be very wary about looking for a goal. The other thing is the favourite. Is it at home? If they're at home, I'm quite interested in the game. And if they've been the ones having the shots as well. So we're already on this Club Bruges game, so I'm not going to go in again on this one. I'm looking for something else. So I'm going to look for let's say the Liverpool under-23 game. Goals were expected beforehand, but price isn't very high, so we'll let that one slide. At the moment, I have no idea who these are. No, Tiago, I haven't jumped on anything at all. We're still on the Club Bruges. Andy, that normal trade of the day I do. For those of you who aren't on chat, I do a trade of the day where I normally do something like 1-1, 1-2, 2-1, Dutched for half a point, and then I lay the under 3.5 for a whole point, but which only costs half a point in liability if you get. So you've actually put out a whole point. That is actually a sort of a variation of the scattergun strategy. If you can Google scattergun trading strategy, the traditional way of doing it is do 1-1, 1-2, 2-1, leave it for 20 minutes. If no goal, then cover with a 2-2 as well. I find doing it with the under 3.5 lay. It's a virtual set and forget. And to get to that stage, Andy, you do really need fairly even teams. You certainly want the away team to be able to score. What you really want is you want both teams to score. As long as both teams to score, you can't lose. So that's a strategy I use. Slight variation of that one. If, as in this case on Club Bruges, the under 3.5 was quite high to start with. Actually, it dropped. So what I actually did there was I did a slight variation where I Dutch 1-2, 1-3, 3-1, 2-1 for half a stake. Then I lay under 4.5, and that's usually about 1.2 for £10. So that's cost you £2, and for the other £3, I just back the draw. So in some ways that's quite good because you can't lose on the 0-0 either then. But you really want a few goals for that one. But I think we've got for a £10 outlay there, we've got £5 on the 1-2, 1-3. I haven't got it up at the moment, which returns £16, I think it is. Someone will tell me if I'm wrong there, which is not a bad return. We just need Club Bruges to get off their arse and score, really. At this present second of time, there's not an awful lot happening at the moment. You have a look over here, see if I fancy anything. Spal beyond Bologna have just kicked off, haven't they? So that might be worth a little trade. Bologna, it's only 4 minutes in, three shots on target. Quite a nice price there. You get a goal quickly. That might be quite interesting. Yeah, let's try that one. Let's just stick. Right, I'm only doing small stakes, so anybody can have a go. At £5, you can all have a go, surely. Okay, so did you see what I did there? I'll just do that again because I'm talking and I'm not thinking. So you just click the over box. You can click anything you like, but that then just brings it straight up there. And then let's be greedy and let's ask for 2.8, and let's just back it for a 5. And what we'll do here is if we get a goal in the next 15-20 minutes, we'll trade that out. Normally I do this on BetAngel, but I'm trying to demonstrate it so that everybody can have a go at it, really. Okay, so we're on there at 2.8. What we'll do is we'll go back to the scanner now. We'll click this one so it stays up the top. If there's any shots, we'll hear the sound. I won't because I've got the sound turned off. So you can either cheer or boo, depending on how it goes. See what else we got. You spotting anything, Chris? Ads is down the pub. But I hope this has been helpful. And you know, I'm here for a bit. If you want to ask any questions, just belt them out. Bloody hell, does it? Thank you, Clyde. That's nice. It's nice to know that people appreciate it. It is, because it's a bit nerve-wracking doing this. But we'll stay with this ball game and see if we can nick a quick goal here. But please ask if you've got. If you are a member and you're already in chat, just, you know, don't think I can't ask that because I'll look stupid. Because you can bet your bottom dollar that if you're wondering, then everybody else is wondering, or a lot of other people are wondering as well. I do tend to talk in, what can we say? Vulgar. Razor Gaming, hi. And in abbreviations and everything like that. And if you don't know what LTD stands for, or BTTS, you don't know what it stands for. Just ask. No one, I've never known anyone in the chat room shout anyone down. Why I picked Spall to back, Andy? Yep, okay. Well, I haven't backed Spall. I've backed the overs in the first case. There was only 4 minutes gone, and at that stage, there were 3 shots on target in the first 4 minutes, which is quite a lot. It was a big price. I think we got on at 2.8. And at 2.8, I quite like it at 2.8. If I'd been doing that one with plenty of time, Andy, then probably what I would do is I would do the Aristotle Trade. You know the Aristotle Trade? That's where you back under 1.5, 1-1, and over 2.5. And the figures you use, let's say we're using a total stake of £10. You use £2.80 on the under 1.5, £1.40 on the 1-1, and £5.80 on the 2.5. We used it yesterday on the Wolves game, and that came off of a treat. And what you would do there is if you saw a lot of action, you could sort of reduce what you've got on the under 1.5s down a little bit, take it down, take it down, take it down, and maybe trade it out, say at 20, 25 minutes, something like that, if you think a goal's coming. But that is a very, very low risk trade. The only way you're going to lose the whole lot is if it ends 2-0 or 0-2. So that's quite a good, quite a nice little trade. You don't win an awful lot, but do that 10 times and you'll think, cool, in a day, and you think, oh, I made a few pop today without too much risk. What do we have? Yeah, I mean, as Chris said, it's a great crowd. No one knocks anybody else. If you tend to come in there, I am the big I am, and you don't know what LTD is, you might find that a few of us sort of ignore you. Because, well, certainly me, the rest of them are really nice. I'm horrible. I am the grumpy old git, and I don't suffer fools, as Chris will tell you, gladly or otherwise. But if you genuinely don't know and you've genuinely got a problem, I'll spend ages with you over it. Right, GYO. I've seen one of your previous videos regarding matches where the draw price comes in and you can trade it before kickoff. Right, that is actually ads on PMT, on premenstrual tension, or whatever it's called. Post-match trading, pre-match trading. That's from there, and really, I'm not going to do PMT today because it's sort of out of my remit, and I hadn't prepared anything for it really, GYO. So I would ask Ads, if you're in the chat room, he's usually in Saturday afternoons. Give him a shout then, and he will be more than pleased to answer that question for you. But at the moment, I'm not going to. Okay, Andy, yeah, you got that right, okay. Although, to be totally honest, it now seems to have died a death, that game, and nothing's happening at all, but that's the way it goes. Thanks, GYO. Just ask Ads when he's in there, or anyone else who uses it. I don't actually use PMT much myself. I like the action. I like a little bit of action, and I find PMT, you know, put £1,000 down on that, wait for it to move a tick, is a little bit sort of tedious. To be honest, at this stage, I would start reducing. I mean, you could even trade out if you want to. You've got, can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. I mean, we've lost 70p if we trade that out now. We just trade that out. It looked like a goal was coming, but it hasn't. So we trade it out. Okay, we traded it out for 63p in the end. So never be afraid of, you know, if you think you saw something. All right, I'm getting a buzz. Hold on a minute. Just bear with me a second. Sparta looks like a couple of goals. Yeah. So Sparta Rotterdam. We'll try that. Let's see whether they're on the scanner. Maybe not. And we're not. Okay, won't do that one in. Right, Liverpool have, if we look over here, let's look at the Liverpool game. Right, 53 minutes gone. So they've had, I'll be with you in a second. So they've had 3 shots in the last 9 minutes. So that now might be worth having a think about. Let's just stick £5 on the Liverpool score. Let's see if we can get that at 5. And we'll see whether that one will come back. But never be afraid to try it out, to trade out if it's not going your way. And do it early rather than late. Spool suspended, is it? Anything happened? Esben, have you... Yeah, right. Sorry, Esben. Thank you very much for reminding me that one. Yep. So, right. If we go back, I forgot to do this. If you hover over that little eye on the right-hand side of a game, you can see there that it gives you the stats for the first half and the stats for the second half and the total. So that is sometimes useful to see, oh, the second half is a lot busier than the first, or the second half has died compared to the first. That's always useful. And I should have mentioned as well, these three bars, if you click that, it takes you to an external site, Bed Explorer, and down here you can then see various stats on the game, past results, etc., etc. I completely forgot about that. Thank you, Espen, for not that. Bigger price. I tend to be a backer more than a layer, but Stephen, I'm talking. Sorry, I'm talking to you. The price on West Brom is 3.4 to lay, which is too big. Thank you, Espen. It's too big for me, so I'd rather back Liverpool at 2.54. If they score, I'll trade out. Let me just do. I will be with you in a second, brothers. Let me just. That has just reminded me of something else to do. Just one other thing I also missed off the scanner. I missed so much off. Let's say this game here, Pro Patria versus Olbia, whoever they are. I've no idea. Probably another Italian C game. I'll bring it to the top. Let's say I never ever want to trade that game ever in my life, and if I click the little red square, it'll disappear off my scanner forever. Sometimes it's worth doing. Spool does. It's definitely, there's going to be a goal in Spool. There's definitely going to be a goal in Spool. It's getting busy. You can see Spool is getting busy. We've now had 5 shots. I think we might have got out too quickly there, but then that's me trying to talk, trade all at the same time. If you, I cannot pronounce your name because it looks in Russian to me, but why we don't back the draw, why I don't back the draw at this stage, is because I'm not exactly sure where the draw will go. No, I wouldn't go back in now. I wouldn't go back in now, Clive. I'm sorry. I'm sort of trading, thinking, and not doing either very well. I shouldn't, I'm a bit like Gerald Ford, the old US president. I can walk and talk, but not at the same time. But what was I saying there before I said that? I can't remember. I've completely lost my train of thought there. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, Sport Bologna, they still, it's building. There's going to be a goal there, or I'd be surprised if it wasn't. That was it. Somebody asked me about why not back the draw. Right, the reason I don't back the draw at that stage is I've lost you. Hang on. Is because, sorry, I've just cocked up everything here. That's right. It's because it was an odds-on favourite to start with. If Liverpool score in the next 10, 15 minutes, that price of that odds on the draw will actually go higher. It won't go lower. It'll be more likely that Liverpool are going to win. And by backing Liverpool, okay, if they don't equalise until the last 5-10 minutes, I've buggered myself. But if they do, then I'm going to be able to trade out anyway. Does that answer your question? Right. Let's have a look. Where are we? You're looking for, if you look down and you're looking for this, the pink or favourite that's losing at home, something like that. Let's bring all the high PIs up to the top, and I'm going to do that by clicking this red thunder sand, as we did earlier, and there's the Liverpool equaliser. So Liverpool have now equalised. We'll just wait for a second or so. Just for the price to steady. I'd rather do this on BetAngel because I'd get a better price, but I'm not on BetAngel at the moment. But if you now click the cash out button, I wouldn't stay in. You can if you want to. That's entirely up to you. And now we've made, well, we made what, £2.41 for a £5 outlay. We've lost 63p on the Spore game, so that's £1.80 up. You owe me 10p for the 3-day trial, and you still got enough for a cup of coffee at a cheap cafe. Okay, so that one worked quite well. Thank God for that, he says. You know full well whenever you do something like this, whatever you say, it's going to go completely wrong. It is going to go wrong. But, you know, that's the sort of thing. Well, it's what I do, and it's what I do in chat. I mean, if I was in chat now, I'd have shouted that one, would have done it. The small one, sorry. I would probably still be in on it. I wouldn't have got out at that stage. I'm mindful of the fact that a lot of you are new, do not have a very big bank, and I don't want to cost you money. And so at that stage, I think the best thing to do was to actually trade out. And there's Bologna scored. So, you know, and I think it's fair to see. Yeah, goal in Spore game. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that we picked both of those trades from the scanner. I didn't have, you know, we weren't using anything else. We weren't using magic. I hadn't looked at the games pre-kickoff or anything else. So it was purely, it was purely off the scanner. James, yes, 1,000 times, yes. I would have traded out. All right, I would have at least taken my red out, so I had a free bet on 2 more goals. But the fact, and the reason I say that, James, is the fact that 2.68 is quite high for over 2.5. So before the game started, goals were not expected there. There was a bit of action, and we've got the goal. Now, to be honest, I'm not really that familiar with sport in Bologna, but Bologna now taking the lead. They were the dog to start with, away from home. I would have thought they're possibly going to try and park Il Busso. No goal. Has it been disallowed? VAR. Well, I still trade them, Taff. You just find that you tend to be pulling your hair out quite a bit, because as a goal goes in and you go, boom, what happens is 5 minutes later they disallow the damn thing. But I would still use VAR. I did, for the World Cup, I devised a bot for BetAngel, which as soon as the goal went in, it laid and laid one of the overs, and as soon as the goal was cancelled, the price returned to what it was before, and I used to clean up. But Betfair have now stopped me doing that, or stopped everybody doing that, by this incredible suspension, plus the fact that they take the money off you. But to be honest, Taff, I think more and more leagues are going to take on VAR, and I think the pressure on the Premier League is going to be such that in a year or two they are going to have to take on VAR. So it's just one of those things. We have to get used to it. In trading, once you've been doing it for 5 or 6 years, there are always things that come up that cock up a perfectly decent system. People will tell you that many years ago, 10, 12 years ago, lay the draw was a profitable strategy. It still can be. It's not, in my opinion, the greatest. But you have to work with what you get, or you just give up. It's up to you. Yeah, I mean, you know, you can just say, well, I've had enough of this and I'm going to give up. They've moved the goalposts, but I can't do that. Who can we do? Well, we have to, sports trading, we have to run with VAR because so many leagues do it now. How to take the red out? Right, just let me just put it back. I probably can't do it now because I've got rid of it. If you if we, so on the sport game, we backed that at whatever we backed it at, 2.6 was it, for a fiver. So just lay it at 1.9 for a fiver. So you just lay exactly the same thing for £5, whatever your bet was. And that will take all your red out. And if you do it on here on Betfair, it tells you where you are anyway, so you know you can't make a cock up. You might find you don't have to take the whole of the red out. And I mean, let's say, for example, you thought, oh no, I still think there's going to be another goal in that small Bologna game, or another couple of goals even possibly, but I don't want to risk my whole fiver. Why not just lay the 1.9 for £2.50? And now you're risking £2.50, but you'll have a bigger green, if you see what I'm saying. This is just me talking. You must be fed up by now. I've been going an hour, people. Okay, and I'm getting a bit dry, and I need a cup of tea, and the bladder's going because I'm getting old, and I'm thinking that maybe we can wrap this up in a minute. So, are there any other questions at this stage that anyone has got a burning desire to ask me? I'll give you about 60 seconds to reply. Thank you, Melissa. I'm going to have something wet and cold. And I don't mean a fish out the pond. Thank you, Hernando. Good. I'm glad. I hope you all got something out of it, some little thing. If you just all picked up just one thing, then I think it served its purpose. I'll be in chat very soon. So if any of you want to have a few words with me, if you don't want to do it in the middle of the room, you can PM me. Although, as I said earlier, most questions, if it's worrying you, then it's probably worrying half a dozen other people. So don't worry about saying that out in open. Please, goal difference. That one's really, Johnny, to be direct at ads, not me. I don't have anything to do with the thing. I'm just purely a trader. So please contact me in chat if you want to. If you aren't a member and you thought, well, it was quite interesting, I'll give it a little go. After all, we made you 10p from the Liverpool game. Just go down to the comments in the bottom of the video, click on that, 10p for 3 days. Have 3 days. And, you know, let's see what we can do for 3 days, see if you can like it and see, and then hopefully you'll stay. Thank you all very, very much for being in there, and thanks for being so kind and to me, because I was a little bit nervous about doing it. And I do appreciate you all coming out on a Sunday afternoon. If you are interested and you want more, then I'm sure I can do them. Just, you know, if you just want a pure evenings trading session, we can do that. It's entirely up to you, really. I've enjoyed myself. Thank you very, very much indeed. This video will be available to watch again tomorrow on the same link that you are on now. It takes time to process it, apparently, or something. But if you want to go back and have a look again, and you know, I'm not going to edit it. It'll just be as it is. So the whole thing will be there, about an hour or so. But if you want to go and have a look again, keep that link and it'll be there. Thanks all for coming. Hopefully I'll see you soon, and hopefully I'll see you in chat in a little while. Cheers.